Hello, we're Blur, and I'm Damon, and I'm a singer.
I'm Graham, and I play the guitar. I've got a big bass guitar, and I'm called Alex.
Okay, they naming themselves.
I play the drums.
Blur formed at Goldsmith University in London. They were a typical UK indie band of the time, signed to Food Records and not all that worried about making money, more interested in making interesting music. That all changed in 1993. After a homesick-inducing 2-month American tour, Blur hit on an idea, a reaction to the US rock scene of Nirvana and their clones. Blur could kickstart a British scene of bands in love with Britain's own influences. The Beatles, the Kinks, the Who, the more cerebral sides of...
The Beatles are British? I swear the Beatles are from like New York. The Beatles are British, or am I tripping? The Beatles are British? I thought they were from New York. They're not American? The Beatles are fucking British? Wow, I really thought we had those. I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Punk rock, Madness, the Specials, and the Smiths.
Liverpool?
British bands that celebrated all things.
That's a soccer
British,
team.
Their cultural
I played FIFA
identity
before.
via music. This, with bands like Suede, Elastica, and Pulp, would become
Liverpool
known
is in
as
Spain,
Britpop.
right?
After a commercial misstart with their second album, Modern Life is Rubbish, Blur released Parklife, which went in at number 1 and remained in the UK charts for the next 90 weeks. It was a selection of songs about British people that sang of 18 to 30.
Oh, I've
shipping
seen this.
Forecast.
I seen that music video before. This one right here. Oh, that was an accident. I accidentally put that, but was that there? Was that there? Was that there? There we go.
In the UK charts for the next 90 weeks. It was a selection of songs about British people that sang of 18 to 30 holidays, the shipping forecast, and internalized existential dread. The album's title track features verses from none more British Quadrophenia star Phil Daniels, which tells the tale of working class existence.
Their music
The
videos
chorus
do
shows
look pretty
exactly
tough.
where Albarn was aiming these songs.
Girls and boys. I need to go to a rock concert.
The elusive idea of universally appealing pop music was Blur's intent, but their soon-to-be rivals Oasis were creating this without the help of UK cult film royalty. Oasis were formed from the council estates of Manchester in 1991, far removed from the trendiness of London. Central to the band were the Gallagher brothers. Liam was the cocky, self-assured frontman, projecting eternal cool. But Noel was the mastermind of the band's music. He dealt with his bandmates' unrefined skills by simplifying everything to bar chords, root notes, and simple
He looks like Steve Nash to
4/4
me.
rhythms. As John Harris said in The Last Party, it was so devoid of finesse and complexity that it came out sounding pretty much unstoppable. And people loved it. Their first album, Definitely Maybe, entered at number 1, before then becoming the fastest selling debut in UK album history. As opposed to Parklife's character studies, Definitely Maybe was filled with anthems, not about, but for the British everyman. There was nothing especially clever about the instrumentation or the lyrics, but it spoke to people. Despite it being essentially gibberish.
Literally how... But when they say that about Cardi, it's a problem. It doesn't do much. It's basically gibberish, but it speaks to the people. And y'all think it's such a problem that we like Cardi. Swamp Izzo, Sia.
When Liam sang about feeling supersonic,
Swamp
2.1
Izzo.
million Brits knew exactly what that meant.
Sia.
At 95's Brit Awards, a celebration of the UK pop music scene, Blur won an unheard of 4 awards. Best Single and Best Video for Parklife, Best Album, as well as Best British Group. This was unprecedented.
They
Previous
low-key
to
look
this,
cool,
UK
though. I
indie
fuck with
bands
their
were cult
aesthetic.
concerns. They weren't supposed to be producing gold and platinum selling albums, earning Brit Awards, or becoming household names. And yet, this is exactly what Blur...
Bro, wait, so is this Oasis right here, or is this Oasis and is this Blur? Right? Is this Oasis right here? Is this Blur? Or are they from the same band? Oasis is. Are you fucking? If we're doing straight aura offs, stop.
Brit Awards
If we're
or
just
becoming
talking
household names.
Straight aura, are
And
you?
yes,
Look
this
at
is
him.
exactly what Blur
Look
and
at
Oasis
him.
were doing.
Hey, look at it. I don't. No, we're never. If we're just talking about who's cooler, are you kidding me?
And yet, this
He's definitely slaying shit in the fucking 80s.
is exactly what
Look
Blur
at him.
and Oasis were doing.
That's why I need to get tapped in with rock culture, bro. I never thought I would ever see. I thought rock artists were kind of all like,
Household names. And yet, this is exactly what
Look
Blur
at
and
him.
Oasis were doing.
That's
They became
tough.
the most important.
He got
and
way more
biggest
swag
bands
than
in
Blur,
Britain.
bro. I'm sorry.
Orban reflected on the two bands' shared lofty positions in the band's
guy looks like
best
Timothy
British
Chalamet.
group speech.
I think this should have been shared with Oasis.
He's like a Peter Parker actor.
Yeah, much love and respect to them.
Little did they know that would be the start of something a whole lot
All the
less
Peter Parker
amiable.
actors are like British.
Oasis' lead single off their follow-up album was Some Might Say. Orban describes what happened next. When Oasis got to number 1 with Some Might Say, I went to their celebration party, just to say well done. And Liam came over and he goes, number fucking 1, right in my face. So
Why did they say it's so British? Number fucking 1. Like,
I thought, okay, we'll see. Both bands had their new albums scheduled for autumn of 95.
bro, Oasis is-
Blur's in September.
like they really be standing on.
Oasis
I like
in
that.
October. No clash, no issue. Both bands could release their albums unmolested by the release of the other, which could mean number 1 albums. for all.
Unmolested.
But with the singles, there was a problem. The Oasis team had set Roll With It to be released on the 14th of August, a week before Blur's Country House. Andy Ross of Blur's label, Food Records, said, "We thought they were mad, but the thing is, a number 1 record tends to have a better than evens chance of being one the week after, just because it's on top of the pops and all the kids hear it. So had Oasis released their single before Blur, they would have had number 1. And by that logic, they would have had an extremely good chance of staying there the next week, even if Blur had a good crack at it. We had to move the release day. If they stopped the release, it would look like Blur were running scared, and they would not hear the end of it from the boys."
So this is 50 Cent and Kanye West. So this is 50 Cent and Kanye West in the 2000s saying we're going to drop our shit on the same day, back to back or whatever. We going to compete. That's so tough. I did not think bands had beef like
just
this.
Oasis lads. The only solution.
This is literally
facing them
Kanye
head-on
West and 50
releasing
Cent.
Country House on the same day as Roll With It.
And I still really don't know who moved their release date to coincide with anybody else's release date. It was probably Damon.
Yeah, recommend me more stuff from here. This is interesting.
And so it was on. The battle of Britpop. The fight to find out who was the biggest band in Britain. The singles themselves were not the best representations of the bands, nor their best work. Country House was an almost parody of what they had done on Parklife, complete with oompa horns. The song sketches a caricature of a man having acquired a fortune, becoming exhausted by the city, and then retiring to a rural life of antidepressants and Weight Watching. Orban later commented that it was shit. Roll With It, on the other hand, did little more than their previous singles like Rock and Roll Star or Shaker Maker had done before. Q Magazine said of the lyrics, "They scan, they fill a hole, end of story. They say nothing much about anything." Despite the quality of the songs at war, the UK music press
Everything's
would love
really
it.
full circle though.
Steve Sutherland of the NME created a cover inscribed British Heavyweight Championship.
Like people think
It was
Oasis aren't saying
nationwide
anything. Go listen
tabloid
to
fodder.
freaking
Orban even appeared on the 10 o'clock news.
Summers.
Both bands have really upped the stakes, and someone's going to come out on top and someone's going to come out second. And by the very nature of being in a band, you're always quite competitive.
Of course, this became more than just about the music. It was a proxy battle for North versus South, and between the very British class system. Blur were from the South, stereotyped as financially better off and better educated, so Oasis dubbed them art school wankers. Because Orban sang in a mock Cockney accent, at odds with his class and upbringing, Blur were considered inauthentic. Oasis were from the North. None of the band went to college, and pre-band spent time as construction workers. The press hailed them as working-class heroes.
I worked on building sites. That fundamentally makes my soul
They
a
got
lot more
so
pure
much
than theirs.
aura. They're normal people.
All through, there
That's
were
why they got
comparisons
so
to the
much swag.
60s, not just in the influences such as Oasis' Beatle obsession or Albarn's love of Keynesian character studies, but in how much of a cultural...
So, if I like the Oasis so much, y'all think I would like the Beatles? Just the Beatles are like Oasis, right? And the Beatles are British too. Wow. Yeah, a big part of their beef is North-South divide. So they're beefing territorially too. It's literally everything in life is literally full circle. That's insane. They literally just like, I'm from the North side, from the South side. Fuck you. My band's better. My bed's better, and you're a wanker. Beatles are peak.
moment this was. As Mike Smith, Blur's press agent, reflected in 2015, when he got into the business in the 80s, people claimed you would never have a band like the Beatles again, because everything was so fractured, and you couldn't capture popular culture. In the 90s, you had two bands that did capture it. There were also similarities in the current rivalry to the Beatles and Rolling Stones, but the difference was that the respected labels made a point to never have them compete head-on. On the eve of the results, Oasis were deemed to be the favourites to win, bookmaker William Hill giving odds of 6-4 in their favour. In the end, Blur won out, outselling their rivals by 58,000 copies, 274,000 to 216,000.
What's going on there?
As a reward, the band played Top of the Pops, with Pulp's Jarvis Cocker introducing them.
Although it's a taking part that's important, not the winning. We don't want a civil war, but tonight there's no denying Blur are top of the pops. Sad story begins.
In the performance, they bop around victorious, Alex James wearing an Oasis t-shirt for added antagonism. All except guitarist Graham Coxon, seemingly not enjoying the moment at all. Later on that night at the Soho-based celebration party, Coxon, overly drunk on free wine, contemplated jumping from the window. I think Graham just thought, oh my god, this isn't what I wanted when I was listening to the Pixies and Pete Townsend. I didn't want to be sitting in a Ponzi Soho club with an Oompa record at number 1. What have I done? Graham was very disillusioned at that point. The repeated saying about the battle of
what does Graham do
is that
for
while
the
Blur
band?
won the battle,
Guitars?
Oasis won the war. Blur's album The Great Escape came out in September, as planned, and went straight to number 1, but never hit the same highs as its predecessor. However, What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis was unbeatable.
Classic.
With the help of alternative national anthems like Champagne Supernova, Don't Look Back in Anger, and Wonderwall, it became the 4th best-selling album of all time in the UK, and even managed to succeed in America, where Blur had repeatedly failed. At the 96 Brit Awards, Oasis won...
How do people hate on Wonderwall and Champagne, whatever that was called, bro? Like, those songs are genuinely great. Like,
3
undeniable.
awards, which blocked Blur from winning anything. Just like Blur did before, Liam remembered to shout out their rivals in their speech.
I'd like to thank all the people. All people, so many people, and they walk your hands through their shite life.
Oasis
Why do British people say shite? Shite. Like, shite. Like, why is that a thing?
signaled their ascent to the role of biggest British band with 2 sellout days
Blur,
at Network.
yeah, that's
the biggest.
That's hard though. That's a crazy diss. Winning an award, mocking your rival song, saying my life is better than yours. That's so tough. But coming to the awards so drunk, smoking before you get up on the award show, not giving a fuck. I thought only like 50 Cent could do that. That only Playboy Cardi could do that. That only Kanye could do that. But Oasis is doing it too? Okay. They're part of the cool kids club now.
Biggest concerts in British
I like
history, of which 4% of the British population applied for tickets. After that, the Britpop moment popped. Blur's next album was more indebted to American alt-rock like Beck or Pavement than their former loves of The Kinks or Specials. It also spawned the least Blur-sounding hit ever in the form of Song 2, ironically their first significant hit in the USA.
I've heard this song. I've heard this song before.
Oasis' next album, Be Here Now, sold 8 million copies, but people were less impressed with what little Oasis had to say, and they moved on to the next thing. It was the end of an era. Blur split in 2003, while Oasis would continue on with mixed results until 2009.
So did Oasis end up falling off?
Is not the end of the story. A less obsessed over repeat of this battle of Britpop happened 10 years later in September 2005, when Oasis' single The Importance of Being Idle was knocked off the #1 position by Albarn's new endeavour, Gorillaz, and their song Dare. While never on the same scale of media hysteria as 10 years previous, it was still noted on in the press. Gorillaz would help Albarn gain the kind of traction in America that Blur never succeeded in achieving. They became known for their various guest artists, but the most surprising was in 2017. After over 20 years of bad blood, Damon Albarn and Noel Gallagher performed on the same track.
Oh, these guys are
We
old
Got
as
the
hell.
Power. Liam was not happy. He tweeted, "That dick out of Blur and the creepy one out of Oasis need to hang their heads in shame, as it's no dancing in the streets." And so, of course, the press talked about shame, as it's...
That's literally a Kanye tweet. That's literally like, okay, Kanye be tripping now. Well, always. But like Kanye would tweet something like this. I'm gonna need to follow him on Twitter. I'm gonna need to see what his Twitters are like.
no dancing in the streets.
He's a British Kanye.
And so,
I need to
of
investigate.
course, the press talked about it. It's an endless cycle. Such is the way of media.
I need to get
fueled
tapped
battles.
in.
If you just let it go, people will realize those antagonisms, those harsh words in the press, they're not real. They are there to make the story more exciting. When there are sides, when there is debate, when there are fights, you captured a pop cultural moment. Without that, would anyone have even cared? This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
W sponsorship. Hopefully I can get one soon. But wow, I mean, just Oasis. This just made Oasis seem so much more cooler than Blur. I'm sorry, like Blur looks lame as hell compared to Oasis after this video. Like, bro, we had Liam. One, he's Kanye West. Two, he's freaking dissing his ops at an award show. Three, on the way to get the awards, he's smoking, walking, looking at the huzz on the way there, probably thinking like, what I'm gonna do after this. Like, nah, bro. Oasis is like, they got my respect. I need to listen to another album. But we do gotta get a Blur album in. Their soccer match is so funny. Soccer matches. You got I gotta get tapped in. I gotta get tapped in. They ain't dude that can hurt you. He's like British Jesus. Well, that was a video. I liked it. If I do post this on YouTube, to my YouTube audience, you know what I'm saying? Go like the Instagram. Go follow the Instagram. We did this live on Twitch. Link in the bio. Yeah, follow me on the gram. Sub up.